So most people assume a classic VW's birthplace is synonymous with Germany, but factories all around the world manufactured these classic cars in the 1960s and 70s. Brandon's bus is Brazilian of origin, and a recent commenter was able to decipher the old license plate, pinpointing its last known location to a small coastal town 7 hours south of Sao Paulo, Brazil. The excessive rust issues confirms its coastal past, with at least 6 inches of the bottom of the bus riddled with its salty memories. So my method when addressing rust repairs starts with getting everything to bare metal first, and then pinpointing the areas that need repaired without excessively cutting out perfectly good metal. This rust repair is specifically challenging because of the many shapes and curves of what's called the seat pedestal. Being a $400 new part, I decided to spend some time fabricating the repairs with what I have. Anyone with experience in metal fabrication would use a bead roller, an English wheel, and many other specialty tools to shape this repair piece. But being a DIY hobbyist, I decided to get more creative. Growing up, I always had access to woodworking tools, and I kept up with the trade into adulthood. Shaping wood blocks to use as sheet metal cast and die is amazing for this scenario, but it won't really work well for thicker gauge metal. I'm really not obsessed with keeping this bus original, but I do want to use as much original metal as possible. A few months ago, I decided to convert the bus into a walkthrough model, eliminating the need for a bulkhead. So I decided to cut it out and use it for the seat pedestal repair. I realize this isn't the best way to guarantee a rust-free future, because clean new metal would be ideal, but without the shaping tools, it would take me probably 3 times as long to fabricate. Plus, I'll be using my usual process to clean, etch, and coat the metal in anti-corrosive solvents long before covering with primer. With my wood template and preformed sheet metal, I then experimented with the best way to conform the shape of the metal to the wood. Heat made the metal malleable enough, and with various tools from around the garage, the shaping process ended up being really simple. In all honesty, my welding skills are probably beginner to intermediate, but small, super hot, super fast tack welds seem to be the best way to approach welding all the small puzzle pieces of this repair. After everything was welded up, I used a guide code to identify the highs and lows of welding warpage so I could work it with the hammer and dolly. Even with that complex repair in place, I am far from over. Where the seat pedestal meets the floor was also completely rusted. So for these metal shapes, I turned to the good folks at Classic Fab for some help. Being less than $50 a piece, I felt like this was well worth buying to complete this repair. The shape didn't exactly match up here, so I needed to elongate the repair patch to line up. I don't really use butt welding clamps all the time, but they worked really well here because the gap is so wide and I wanted to keep the two pieces flush. The green metal from Classic Fab is weldable, so I tacked the front and sketchy welded the back. Sandblasting is a last step for me. Due to my compressor size and sandblasting setup, I rely on chemical stripping means for the initial paint removal step. After I have cut out, abraded, wire-wheeled, chemically etched, and replaced all the rusted sections, then I pull out the sandblaster and finish the job by targeting the rust pits and paint that is left. The main reason I do it this way is because my compressor would run for hours and overheat trying to sandblast all the layers of paint off the metal. Of course, I'm not using sand here, but aluminum oxide, because it's durable and sharp as a blast media, and it can be reused many times. What I do is vacuum it up, put it through a set of filters, and eventually it gets back into the sandblaster up to 7 times. One of the lessons I learned the hard way early on in car restoration is to never weld a replacement panel in until everything else is in place. In most of my videos, I'll usually end with the repaired panel being screwed or clamped into place. While the wheel well is taking shape, there's still a few other panels that need repaired, but for now, another piece of the puzzle satisfyingly fits into place.